Hello, and welcome to the We Should Move Here Travels podcast. My name is Brittany,
I'm Josh.
and we are your hosts. Today, we are going to be recapping all of Portugal, what we liked about it, what we wish was different, and about what we learned. And then we will also do our rankings, our final rankings of Portugal. Let's
Yeah,
get into it.
let's do it.
So, just to recap the trip, I did some solo traveling for the first time ever in Aveiro for about 5 days. And then you met me there, stayed another day and a half there with you, showed you everything that I learned, everything that I did there. It was a really fun experience to get to solo travel and also get to show you. I kind of got the best of both worlds there. And then we went to Porto, where we had tour after tour after tour. And we ate at a lot of really good foodie spots. And then we went to Coimbra, where there was so much rich history around the university. And it's another really good foodie spot. After that, we went to Lagos, where there was the cutest beach town and where you swam in the ocean for the first time. And then we ended our trip in Lisbon, where we got about a day and a half. We had a blast on a food tour there. It was great.
Really fun. If you didn't listen to any of those episodes, go back and listen. Lots of good information in those.
Yeah.
Really great trip. What did you like about the trip, Brittany?
I absolutely loved the solo travel. I think that it was a lot of fun. I did really miss you during parts of it, but I think it was much needed for me. And I learned a lot about myself during that time. I also loved the wine and the food culture there. It was out of this world. I mean, you aren't judged. We didn't do this, but you wouldn't be judged for having a glass of wine for breakfast. You really wouldn't have been. Like,
Very
it's
true.
a thing in Portugal to just have wine with every meal. So, um, the coffee culture also was very surprising for me, and I really liked it. And I really loved that every spot we went to had a unique vibe to it. Every town we went to was so distinct and just very unique, which makes me feel like other parts of Portugal would be just as unique. And I think it would be easy for us to find a spot in Portugal because of that, that would be 10 out of 10 for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And then just echo everything you said, really. It's such a good country for wine and food. And each spot we did had it very specific and its own identity to it. I really love that.
Yeah.
Mm.
What did you like about the trip?
What really wasn't there to like? You and me did spend the first 5 days apart, and you got to do that solo traveling, which you and me had talked about, I think, on the podcast before. How I really thought you needed to do an international solo trip by yourself, and you did, and you loved it, and I love that for you. Um, And with that, we got to have our cute, like, missed you moment at a train station that felt kind of Hallmarky and Christmas movie like. So,
Some people would be, "Blah."
it
But it was, yeah, it was really cute. It was
was.
fun.
Um,
I loved that moment with you.
yeah, it was really nice. Like I said, the wine culture is fantastic. It definitely a place for anyone who loves wine, any kind of wine, whether it's sparkling, white, red, sweet, dry. Great variety of wine here.
There is so much variety throughout Portugal.
Mm,
Like we said that in another episode, but there really is. There's so much variety.
a little bit for everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. The food culture, being foodies, we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves and scoped out the food culture. Just great. It was some really high level cuisine and a couple of dishes that I feel like I will always remember the name of, or I will always remember and compare some things to.
Like francesinha,
Francesinha, the pork sandwich, which
bifana.
the bifana, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yep, just to name a few. Just gonna remember those, hopefully, and, compare some local dishes and other dishes too. So I really love that. I love trains, if you have listened to our podcast before, so I love the fact that we got to do this trip with and almost entirely train travel.
Mhm.
So, overall, I just really enjoyed the trip.
I really loved the trip too. I think it was a really special trip, and
Mhm.
I am so glad that we got to do it.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Portugal for some time and wanting to go there. Really, I think ever since we went to Italy, which was our first international trip together. And I think it sparked the conversation because we did go to Lisbon airport as a layover, and then we went to Rome
Mhm.
from there. So I remember on that flight, I remember looking out the window on our way to Rome, and I was like, "We're gonna go to Lisbon someday." We did.
We did.
So I'm
Well
happy that that was like a full circle kinda moment.
and I think we absolutely had to. It's with this podcast being a food podcast first, and secondly, being about where we could potentially move to in the future. Portugal is a place well known for
Yeah.
Americans as well as Europeans and people from all over the world relocating to.
Yeah.
So I think whether it was now when we did it or later, we absolutely were going to come to Portugal at some point.
Absolutely. And it's easy to see why so many people relocate to Portugal
Mhm.
because it's gorgeous. And like I said, there's so many unique towns and there's so much history in each town that it's like, I mean, I really think we could find a spot there.
I couldn't say that better myself. There is such a great combination of history, of the culture, of food, of people. Just pick something that you love about traveling, and you can find it in Portugal.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what do you wish was different on the trip?
As much as I loved how much history we did get to learn about Portugal, which we got to learn so much, and just all of the vibes of the great towns that we were in, I still really missed being in a small Portuguese town. We were pretty much in mid to large and definitely large size towns, cities the entire time. And I mean, Aveiro was definitely smaller, and you were definitely there for the 5 days. Well, 6.5 total with me there for the day and a half. And
Yeah.
so I might feel different if I was there longer. However, I think there were a few times where we went to like a small restaurant or wine bar. And I was just like, man, I want to be out in a small town that tourists just don't go to
Mm.
really get a rich cultural experience if I can from a place.
Yeah, I love that too for the most part, but I also think that sometimes when we do that, we build it up so much and then it's just a letdown because there's not much to do in those towns, you know? Um, so I truly feel that Aviro was such a happy medium because it was a smaller town,
Sure.
but there was so much to do.
Yeah.
And to be fair, you came during Freedom Day, the national holiday, and it was also the European Marathon that weekend. So there were so many more people once you got there. And when I first got there were, like, mainly just locals, and you could tell because, like, I was the only one lugging around a suitcase when I was walking there, and, like, I mean, even getting off the train, nobody else had their suitcase with them. Like, it just felt like such a local spot
Mhm.
when I was there.
Sure.
And maybe I just have hard eyes and can't see past the lure of of Aveiro, but
Yeah, I didn't wanna say it. I think you're in love with a Viro and you got a little bit of blinders on. I totally agree that I needed to spend more time there to probably get a little bit more of a feeling
me
for
too.
it. I still think there is probably a smaller town out there that we might go to in the future
Mhm.
that I might love more and maybe you would love more too. Not sure, but,
We'll see.
I would like us to get a little more cultural and historical sort of adventures or experiences while we're in places. I often think back to when we were in Massachusetts and we went to this mansion and they had kind of like a role playing as we went through the mansion. They gave us the history of the mansion and the kind of the area,
Yeah.
and it was like a fun game with it. So something like that, which is very unique and sometimes hard to find, but if we can find that in places, I would like to find that as well more when we're traveling.
Yeah. That also kinda reminds me of the abbey that we went to in Ireland,
Oh,
where we got to, like, tour around it and learn about
yes.
the grounds. Yeah.
Yep. Very much so. And I mean, speaking of Ireland, the last thing I was going to say that I wish was different was that we might need to think about using train kind of supplementally in trips and maybe do more car rentals for trips like we did for Ireland and Scotland,
Mm.
because I would like a broader overview of a town or city when we go to visit it and also be able to maybe go on hikes out in nature and get into the hills and mountains a little bit. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, because after Ireland, when we did those hikes, I'm kinda hooked. I got, like, a hiking bug. I wanna go up and climb a big hill and
Yeah, I kinda got that too.
and see things from up there. But, that's kinda what I wish was different. What about you?
I feel like we were there for quite a while, and a 2-week trip, 3-week trip is long enough for both of us. But I do really wish that we had more time to explore more of northern Portugal and also the islands and mostly like the coast as well. So I really just wanted to explore more of it. I think I'm going to say that regardless where we go because you can always see more. So if we did do more hikes, I think that may have satisfied some of that because we didn't do any. And I don't know. I think maybe that was missing.
Yeah, I definitely think when you don't have the ability to go out and do a hike like we did in Ireland and Scotland and some other places, you kind of repeat your steps on a few streets sometimes when you're in a town just by accident.
Yeah,
Whereas if you take one day from each place and you go on a hike just a little bit of ways, then you're much less likely to have a repeat in going down a street in the city the
absolutely.
other 2 days, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I also think that we are okay. So we're old. Well, not old, but
We're
we're in
not
our
old.
30s and we're not like doing nightlife every night, getting 3 hours of sleep and then 20,000 steps a day. Like, that's just not us anymore. But I do think that exploring the nightlife at least one night in either Lisbon or Porto, I think would have been really fun. So I think we could have prioritized maybe one night of that and kind of dealt with it in the morning. But and I also am still bummed about that bad meal in Porto. I wish we would have gone somewhere else.
You know what's funny? It's the 2 things that stick out most is, like, the worst experience, which is a bad meal, and then, like, the highest of highs, like, the best experience. Like, some of the middle ones get lost, but I'm gonna remember the worst meal for sure,
Oh,
and that's unfortunate.
that is really unfortunate because, well, I saw a TikTok the other day that had Anthony Bourdain from one of his documentaries or whatever, talking about how you have to have the bad meals in order to really appreciate the great ones.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, that's so true. I immediately thought of that ramen meal that I
Mhm.
was like, ugh,
You're right, Anthony.
yeah, rest in peace. Overall, I think it was a really good trip.
Mhm.
I don't think that we're ever going to have a perfect trip. And I think we're always going to be searching for like a happy medium of what we both want in a trip.
Right.
So, and I think it's going to change. It's going to ebb and flow throughout the years. And
I mean, I think this might be a good transition into our next topic, but we do, at least in our last few trips, we have balanced a country pretty well, I think.
Mhm.
And I think we did that well for Portugal. But that kind of like spread of a country, we got the middle section, the north, the south. We got a big diversity
Yeah.
of the country, which I think, some people might focus on one section and they might never see the South, they might never see the North, but we get to explore all of it pretty much. We didn't get the islands, but
Yeah. We got to go back and get the islands. And I also think we heard a lot about Braga. Am I saying that right?
Mhm.
Braga?
Yep.
Yeah, we heard a lot about that city, so I think we would probably prioritize going to that city as well next time, but we need to go back to Aveiro because you didn't get enough time there, and we're not going during a busy weekend, and you're gonna see how beautiful and perfect it is, and you're gonna fall in love with it, and we're gonna move there, and we're gonna live happily ever after. So,
Well, maybe that's a perfect transition into what did you learn about the trip?
I learned so much about myself on the trip. As a solo traveler, beginning this trip solo, I mean, I can do solo travel, which I'm a pretty anxious person. I have a lot of quirks to me. I've been working on them, but also I think doing this solo trip and a lot of things were out of my control and I couldn't rely on you to control the things. I just kind of let it be. It was interesting for me to just let it be. I didn't have the anxiety of what's going to happen because it was just me. And I always figure it out on my own. And like we always do too together, but I'm an anxious wreck until I do or until we do because I want both of us to have a good time, right? Whereas if something happened where I didn't have a good time, like A, it's just me. I'll get over it. And B, I mean, at least you're not there having a bad time with me, Like it's just me.
No, the only reason you're having a bad time is because
Of
you
me.
you created this situation, yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I really didn't have a bad time at all.
Yeah.
But but those were just some of the thoughts that I had as I was going through my days alone of like I can do whatever I want on this day. Like mind you, I did have one tour where I had to follow like the times of the tour, but outside of that, I really just did whatever the fuck I wanted. And honestly, I think I learned a little bit about what I wanted because I'm usually so like caught up in like trying to make sure that we're both having, what we want
Mhm.
as a collective. It was just a very interesting learning experience. I'm sure we'll get more into it as we talk about solo travel in that episode because we do have one coming up in a couple weeks here. Overall, I think I learned a lot about myself solo traveling. I learned so much about Portuguese history and really like where things came from and how it influenced the culture and some of the celebrations as well. I think it's always really interesting being in another country for their holidays that they celebrate I mean, we have celebrations here as well in the US, but it's just so fun learning what their celebrations are about. So I was there during Freedom Day and there was a huge like parade and it was them celebrating their freedom from dictatorship. It was just a beautiful thing and learned about how carnations represent their freedom and just so many things that I learned about Portuguese history, especially along with that holiday. I also learned that you and I really connect when we're exploring new things together because I learned about myself on the solo travel and I also really missed you during new experiences. And I was like, gosh, I have this like, I'm having so much fun, but I have this like ache in my heart for you because you're not experiencing these things with me. And once you got there, it obviously went away and we got to have new experiences together. And I was like, this is what makes us grow. This is what we do best as a couple. And it's what makes us feel so connected, I think, most of the time is experiencing new things. So there's my relationship tip for the day. But anyways, what did you learn on the trip?
To start, I'll just echo that last one that you said. And I think we have both known that we genuinely have a great time experiencing new things together, but it's always such a clear revelation when we're in the middle of it.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, learning something, experience something new together is exciting for both of us, and we enjoy doing it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what Portugal showed me was a lot of the good things about other places that we have been, including where we live currently in
Mm.
Wisconsin. Like when we were in Coimbra, we were walking around the parks and went to the Burger Cup, going to the local university, and having this full community sort of experience for us, what that experience was for us. And
Yeah.
I saw a lot of connections with that community and with that place to the Fox cities here in Wisconsin. And when we came back, I started looking into, what events does local Appleton host and Menasha host? And there are lots of those community events that we can go out and experience that we may look for. Now, the kindness of people or the culture and how people treat newbies in a group or something is different
Yeah.
whatever country you go to. So there's that, and the bigger picture of an entire country, how they treat people or and how they treat each other is of course different from a country like the United States and a country like Portugal. But those smaller communities, I saw similarities in just a community coming together
Mhm.
and spending time together.
Yeah. And people like being in community, which we do have so many community events here in the Fox cities, and I don't think we go to nearly enough of them.
No. Yeah. Which was, I think, kind of the realization. I think it just opened my mind to, like, maybe we should try to do more of those here as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to when we love to travel so much and we love to go out and do new things, and sometimes community events and being around the same people can feel repetitive and be repetitive. If we're looking at potentially moving someplace new, that could potentially happen somewhere else as well. So
Mhm.
there's a balance that we have to find, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, kind of what I said for what I wish was different was having a car rental so that we could maybe go out and choose a place to hike, or we could go visit the next town over really easily and not have to worry about a train schedule.
Here's the thing about that that's very brave of you because the roads in Portugal were We're not for the faint-hearted. Okay. I would not drive there.
Definitely not in the bigger cities, in the middle of the bigger cities, for sure. We've driven on some pretty tight roads in Scotland and Ireland and
Yeah, but this was like city traffic that was
right, yeah,
kind of insane.
the city traffic is something that if we could park on the outskirt and then get a train in, who knows if that works or how we would go about it, but having it between stops somehow
Mhm.
or in certain places would definitely be something that going forward we should definitely look into for certain countries
Yeah.
if that's something we absolutely want to do, which it sounds like we do, like go on some hikes and either making solid plans to have public transportation readily available to use to get to a place to hike or realizing like nope, we need a car for this trip
Yeah,
because it's going to help us out the most.
for
So
sure. So as far as rankings,
mm,
w are you nervous?
no, I love just thinking back and ranking just good stuff about the place.
Okay, we're starting with a hot one. Food.
Are you asking me or are you gonna say it first?
You.
You always say okay. Oh man. That fantastic food culture. Some really key items stick out in my head. And if I'm comparing it to other countries that I've ranked, I think I'm gonna put it right about an 8.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
that's harsh. I'm gonna say a 9
Ooh.
because it is pretty far up there with Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And, although we did have the one bad meal, every single Portuguese meal that we had was so
Was
delicious.
fantastic.
So, I don't think we can include that bad meal because that wasn't even a Portuguese dish.
No.
So the food there was insane. It was incredible. I was not expecting the food game to be that strong.
Mhm.
I was expecting maybe around like a 7, 8, but no, it's a 9, maybe 9.5.
Well, alright.
Great food.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, "Okay, if Italy is this and Japan is this,
Yeah.
where does it?" And I think I'm good with 8. I think I love, like, Asian cuisine
Yeah.
and the food that we had in Italy so much. It's
Yes. I will say that the francesinha we had was 10 out of 10.
mhm.
I would if I ate that every single day, I would be the happiest person alive.
Yeah. Like I said, definitely some key dishes that I'm gonna remember and dream about.
Yeah, me
Mhm.
too.
Alright, your favorite or one of your favorites. There's a lot of favorites. Your expertise, the coffee and social scene.
It was really good. Whoa, wait, I gotta think about this. No, wait, I think it's a 10. I I really think it's a 10. I did not have a bad cup of coffee.
Wow.
Every single like coffee roaster's place or cafe that we went into, there were people talking all over. It was a very sociable environment. If I knew Portuguese, maybe I would have met some people.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm gonna say 10. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I'm leaning I like to leave room for growth. Let's see here. I'm gonna go 9.3.
9.3.
Mhm. Yeah, I think every like coffee shop that we went into, there was a gathering of people. And like I said, if we knew Portuguese or if we were locals, it seemed very easy where you could get involved in a conversation or be involved
Absolutely.
in a group. And even a few times we went into a little coffee shop and we got into a little conversation with the owners or the people working, which was really fun. And of course, I don't have a bunch ever to negative to say about coffee, and all the coffee was great. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm usually more critical of coffee, but I did not have a bad cup and it was all incredible.
mhm. And
So,
I mean, they do have, and we learned there's a lot of South American influence
mhm.
in Portugal, and So I think that would make sense that they have good beans, good coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the drinks scene, which I think we just started doing after or with
Ireland.
Ireland
Yeah.
because we just had we had Guinness all the time and we were like, well, it's gotta be good. We gotta add this in. So um I think we gotta continue that with Portugal. What do you think?
Wait, no, this is a 10 as well. Am I just an easy grader?
I think you are. I think you would be everyone's favorite teacher if you were
I mean, okay, the wine? There was so much variety of wine,
Okay.
and there were quite a few, like, craft cocktails that we got
Mhm.
at, like, speakeasies or whatever. So much fun,
Mhm.
so cute,
Mhm.
so delicious. The beer, the Superbock, that was pretty good. I'm giving it a 10, man. I don't know what more you could want. Maybe sake.
Yeah. Different culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I like to be a little harsher grader. I think I'm gonna do a 9.5.
Mm.
I thought it was fantastic. Wine was amazing. Beer was great. We got to go to the brewery in Coimbra. Fantastic beer. Like you said, Bach was great. Port wine, a dessert wine. So you could really have every part of a meal. And you got your salad course, you got your fish course, you got your meat course, you got dessert course, you got them all in wine. So I think it was all great.
Wait, so what was the number?
9.5.
You are so harsh.
It
This
that's an A.
okay, but this is clearly a 10 out of 10. Anyways, walk
It's a 10 out of 10 for any what is it? A wino?
yeah.
For any wino, it's a 10 out of 10 for sure.
I mean, I love other drinks, but I am a wine girl at the
Mhm.
end of the day. I love wine.
You're a wino.
I'm a wino.
We should make a shirt, a rhino, but like instead of like the horn, it's like a wine glass and then you're a wino. I don't know why I just thought of that.
Okay, walkability and transit.
Mm. I think it was extremely walkable. Trains were great between cities. It seemed like there was some buses and trams in the larger ones. We didn't use a bunch of. I'm gonna put it at a 9 because for a 10 for me is Ghent, Belgium, which
Yeah.
there were trams all over the place. You hardly had to walk. You could walk if you wanted to,
Yeah.
and then you could also tram to basically anywhere. So I think I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna leave this at a 9. I might leave it at a 9, yeah. Plus, it was really hilly, so accessibility to others.
Yeah, that's true. I think I think because of that and the lack of trams, there were some trams in Lisbon,
Mhm.
but the trains were super easy.
Yeah.
There was a train station in every city.
Mhm.
I do wish they communicated a little bit about the train delays and that the trains were waiting for us,
Mhm.
but I think maybe that's our own ignorance.
Cultural and experience, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I think every town was very walkable, but yes, there were a lot of hills. So if you maybe don't have a lot of like endurance for hills, or if you're in a wheelchair and there's steps all over too. So I could see it not being very accessible for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
going to say an 8.
yeah. I you saying that wheelchair, that for sure with the cobblestones and stuff too,
Yeah, that would be tough.
and all the hills, yeah. Extremely hard for someone in a wheelchair, just someone who has difficulty walking, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm. Affordability for traveling and kinda overall living, what do you think? Would it work out?
I think there were a lot of people that we heard talk about the cost of living going up.
Mhm. Yeah, we definitely heard that, yep.
However, from my perspective, being in the US, our cost of living is already so fucking high that things felt cheap there. Like things felt inexpensive there because we're so used to the cost of living being so high here. I think with it rising, that would be a huge concern for me.
Mhm.
And there definitely were places that were affordable and that we could easily rent. However, places in the city center or places like where we would want to be living,
Where you would wanna be living.
yeah, where I would want to be living, I think would be more expensive. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same in the 7 to 6.5 range, somewhere in there. It is, like we said, or like you just said, we've heard people say that it's been rising with everyone moving there. And just because we know that it's expensive here, that difference, I think that's the only thing that offsets it a little bit
Yeah.
is we know how expensive things are here to compare to, which we do for all of them. But hearing what other people saying and that anyways, I think just kind of makes it just better than even. So like a 6.57.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Yeah. How easy do you think it would be to relocate to Portugal?
I think I would be able to get a work visa,
Mhm.
and I think you would be able to get a student visa. However, if we don't know Portuguese, I think that would be very difficult for us to relocate there. So, because of that, I'm going to give it maybe a 4.
Yeah. I might be a little bit on the opposite side of this one for you because there is such a large immigrant community there from people from English speaking countries, and
Yeah.
there was people speaking English all over the place. We really didn't run into a problem because we were in large
Right.
cities.
But I'm talking about like if you're getting a student visa,
Mhm.
you're going to need to know Portuguese.
Right, and that's one instance, but also if I was doing some skilled position in something else like a technology
Oh.
and something like that. Like there are so many different scenarios. I think you could figure it out as someone who speaks English, and clearly they do because there's a huge immigrant community from the United States. So I'm thinking it's probably a 7. I'm guessing it's harder because Portugal is a small country and there has been a lot of people moving there
Yeah.
and costs are rising. So yeah, I think about 7.
Okay.
Yeah. The pace of life and the wellness or overall, like what kinda how people felt that lived there.
This was a dream.
Mm.
It really was a dream. People don't start their day until 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And I mean, people walk around everywhere. People are fit because of that. And I mean, we probably wouldn't need a gym membership or anything because you're walking everywhere. I think this is damn near almost a 10 as well.
Mm.
Uh,
I think from our perspective, it's really easy to see, the kind of the late starts and the close community vibes and see all the good things. But we did hear a couple university students saying like there's not like a ton of work and it's hard to get good work. So maybe moving out of the country as far as kind of like a work-life balance part of wellness,
mm,
if we're thinking about that. And then that's also causing like separation in families because generations are kind of moving away. So you don't have close knit families really anymore. But I'm not sure if you have that anywhere in the world. But life does seem like a pretty decent pace. Like, I don't think I ever saw someone who looked crazy stressed about life, which I mean, we're blinded by it because we're on vacation. So I'm sure there's plenty of people who were really
yeah.
struggling with life and that's going on. Stagnant wages. We heard the university talking about like being hard to afford things too.
Yeah.
So work life balance with that as well.
Those are some good points. I think I would say maybe a 7
Hmm.
with those points. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yep, I was gonna say a 7 as well. I think that's accurate. I think we would need more information, like most things on this list, minus food. We know food's good there.
We know food's good there. You might need more information because you didn't give it a 10. So
Um,
that's on you.
but I mean, you brought up good points. Like, it seems like people are really healthy there.
Mhm.
People walk all over the place. The food is part of it. They got good food to eat.
Mhm.
And the communities are close. So I think there's a lot of good things. There's a couple negatives. We need more information.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we would need more information to give it a higher score.
for sure.
Yeah. Last one is access to nature or beauty.
It's hard to not give this a 10. I think I'm again just for growth purposes, I'm gonna give it a 9.7. I think there's plenty of ocean coast there that you can go to the ocean from pretty much anywhere in the country within probably like 3-hour train ride, 4-hour train ride, maybe from the most inward parts of the country. And then, I mean, the mountains, the hills, a lot lush green. It's really beautiful. And we didn't even get to see the islands, and people said those are stunning.
I mean, I can believe that the islands are a 10 out of 10. The Douro Valley alone, 10 out of 10. I mean, all of the cities and like the red tile roofs,
Mhm.
those were beautiful. I mean, the tiles on the buildings, gorgeous. Being by the water. I don't know why you're being so harsh because this is also a clear 10 out of 10 for me.
Hey, you love Portugal.
I do love Portugal.
Mhm.
I loved it here. It was beautiful and it felt so easy there. Everything felt easier there. Obviously, like we're on vacation. We're not like worried about stuff at home. Well, that's a lie. I was. But but we don't have like the daily stressors that we have here.
Right.
But I really envisioned myself here.
Yeah.
I envisioned us here. So, and it was easy to see that.
It was a beautiful place. I really loved Portugal. I hope we go back again. You have it ranked now number 2
Number 2.
on your top 3. I still have it outside of my top 3, but who knows? Maybe that could change in the future if we go back, or I let it marinate a little longer and maybe I see the light or something. Who knows? You convince me. As a place to visit, of course, recommend people if you've thought about Portugal. Is it worth it? It's definitely worth it. Go visit Portugal for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Go visit Portugal, have the francesinha in Porto at Bressau, Caliço.
Mhm.
Have a good time. Drink some wine.
Mhm.
Have a good time. Swim in the ocean
Swim in the
in
ocean.
Lagos.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do your thing.
Do your thing. Is there anything else you want to talk about Portugal or say about Portugal?
Man, I'm sad that this is our last Portugal episode
Mhm.
because that means it's really over. I cannot describe enough how much we loved Portugal. Well, I loved Portugal. And we just had so much fun there. I really recommend people to go to Portugal. I mean, and the places that we went, I think it was the perfect mixture. I really loved it. Anything else you want to say?
Nope. Can't wait to go back, and I can't wait to go on another adventure wherever we decide to go next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next episode, we will be doing a brief check in. So look out for that next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at WSMH Travels.
You can listen to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. YouTube is where we have our video record version, including pictures and videos from our trips. Please continue to leave your comments and send us messages on what you liked from our trips and suggestions for future trips. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.